everybody. So today we want to welcome you to the Great Mississippi Tea Company, and we're going to be making some chai cinnamon rolls using Clary's chai, of course. So we have everything set out and ready to go for you today. So let's get started on making the dough part of our recipe. Alright, now that we have that made and mixed up, we need to grease our bowl for proofing. I usually use olive oil as my preferred oil to use for stuff like this. You just want to grease your bowl up really well so that your dough doesn't stick. You take your dough out of your bowl. And plop it right in. Cover that with some plastic wrap. And now you want this to be in a nice warm place. So what I've done is I've turned the oven on to the lowest setting, which ours goes down to 170 degrees. And now we're going to turn it off and set this in the oven. And we're going to let that proof for 30 minutes to 1 hour until it is doubled in size. Alright, so the filling for our cinnamon rolls is fairly simple. Now we are on to the glaze. So we've got our powdered sugar, our chai tea, vanilla. I just want to mix this well. Alright, so our dough has risen. Now we need to flour our surface. We don't want it sticking to our counter or your breadboard, however you're choosing to do this. Now you also need to flour your rolling pin. And you want to plop your dough out. A little more dough on the top. Good couple of kneads. If it's a little sticky still, that's what the flour is for. Want to make this into a rectangle. Close enough to a rectangle as you can get anyways. If you start to stick to your rolling pin, just add a little more flour. Alright, so there we go. We're going to be roughly about a 1/4 inch thick. Set that to the side. Now, you got our filling that we've already made. You might want to stir it up just a little bit. It's going to set. Get it good and stirred up. Alright, now we're going to put this right onto our dough here. What we're going to do is just spread that out the best you can. You don't want it too thick, you don't want it too thin, just kind of get it everywhere. And you want this to go all the way out to the edge. Alright, and you'll notice on the front and on the side, on the back here and on the front here, you do want to leave a little bit of room for when you start to roll. The sides, however, you want to get as close as you can. You're going to start from your edge and you're going to roll it up. And just keep rolling. Little by little. You could also, if you have parchment paper and you have a big enough counter, you can put some parchment paper down and that'll help you roll a little bit too. You just want to make sure you're all good and spread out. You want them kind of as equal as you can get them. Go. Now we're going to need to cut. Some people, you can have a scraper, a knife will do the same. Depends on what size cinnamon rolls you want. I kind of like mine fairly large, So we're going to make them roughly about an inch or so big. You oil our dish that we're going to be baking in. Now you're going to place your cinnamon rolls into your dish. And as you're putting them in here, just reform them, because as you cut them, they will flatten out a little bit. There we go. Now, these need to rise again before we bake them. So we're going to set them back in our oven or our proofing way that we have decided. And they need to proof for another 30 minutes before we actually continue. So our cinnamon rolls have proofed, and look, they're all nice and fluffy and beautiful. And the last step before we actually bake them is the cream. So this is heavy cream, and it's half a cup. And you're just going to pour it in and let it soak down into your cinnamon buns here. You just kind of want to spread it all over. Now they are ready, and they're going to go into the oven for 27 to 30 minutes, 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Alright, now that we have them out of the oven, we need to add our icing that we made from earlier. So we're just going to add that in. And you want to do the icing while it's still nice and hot. Spread it all over, and then give it just a few minutes and let it set, soak all in, and then they will be ready to serve. So here is our finished cinnamon roll. We have it pulled out for you, and let's pull that apart. Look how nice and fluffy. So they're not overly sweet, but you get the chai flavoring and a little hint of the tea in the background. I could eat these more than I could eat regular cinnamon rolls. They're so good and fluffy. So, we want to thank everybody for watching this video and learning to make chai cinnamon rolls. And you can get Clary's chai cinnamon or Clary's chai in our store and make your own batch